what's up? Thank you so much for watching Mostly Sane. I'm Prajakta. Welcome back to another Real Talk Tuesday video. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि जितनी बारी भी ये videos मैं अभी shoot कर पा रही हूँ, A, it's not happening online. B, it is usually with people that I look up to, that I've been a fan of, and then now I'm in a very new capacity with them, so it's quite exciting. But hi, Vidya.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm talking to you like I did not just spend the morning with you, but it's very...
Promoting our film Neeyat, which is releasing on the 7th of July
Only
in a
in
theatre
theatres.
near you.
We're going to start with this, end with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
मतलब usually जब ऐसे किसी film के बारे में बात होती है ना, तो मैं बैठ के बात करती हूँ कि tell me about the film.
Yeah.
But like,
come on, tell me about the film.
You tell me about the film.
Now is my chance to say that to you. Tell me about the film.
How
tell
much
me about
can we
Neeyat.
tell is the question.
Yeah. We can tell them that it's releasing in theaters.
In theaters on the 7th of July. So Neeyat is a
Murder
mystery. And it has a stellar cast.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing cast.
Anu has directed it.
Yeah. Abhandan Shah has produced it.
Vidya's in it.
Yeah. Oh,
Prajakta.
Prajakta's in it also.
Yeah. Moving on. So speaking of acting, no, but honestly, I'm so happy कि finally in person हो रहा है.
Yeah.
Because इससे पहले I think शेरनी के लिए और शकुंतला देवी के लिए दोनों online हुए थे.
हाँ, lockdown था ना?
लॉकडाउन था और मुझे याद है कि जब हम शूट करना शुरू कर रहे थे तो शेरनी के लिए स्पेशली इज शकुंतला देवी आल्सो ऑन प्राइम
यस
तो दोनों वक्त पे प्राइम पॉइंट ऑफ नब हु वी मिस अ लॉट टोल्ड मी कि प्रारिता we only have 20 to 30 minutes. ठीक है, इससे ज्यादा प्लीज मत, शी इज इन अ वेरी टाइट स्केड. और दोनों बारी हमने डेढ़ घंटा बात की.
Really? वो मेरी खूबियत है. Really. मैं इतनी बात कर सकती हूँ और अगर बातू नहीं मिल जाए सामने
तो डेढ़ घंटा हमने गप्पे लड़ाए.
But I have to tell you all guys, okay, it's not promotion for Neeyat now, but it is. Never mind. No, but when we were shooting, Prajakta was a queen of the worst PJs. It was so shocking to me. I had seen her do these interviews. I'd done 2 interviews with her. I've seen her, being great at what she does. And now she was acting so well. You have to watch the movie.
In theaters.
In theaters for that. But her PJs, and it was like a virus. Next, Ram Kapoor was cracking bad, the worst ever PJs. And then Shahana Goswami.
But Shahana started her own thing with the puns and all.
Yeah, and then Neeraj Kabhi also joined in. So I was like, what's happening to the... Actually, jokes apart, it was great fun because I love PJs.
Because सबसे जोर से आवाज ना पूरे कमरे में, तो हम 10-12 एक्टर्स थे.
Yeah.
और हम सारे एक साथ शूट कर रहे होते थे.
13 actors. And we would have Anu sometimes say,
Yeah.
shut up!
Yeah.
Like a teacher.
Yeah. क्योंकि हम इतने सारे लोग एक साथ होते थे एक कमरे में और मोस्ट सीन्स हम सारे एक साथ शूट कर रहे हैं बिकॉज who it is, what happened, everybody stays around. पर सबसे ज्यादा जोर की हंसने की आवाज हमेशा विद्या की आती थी. Anyone cracks a joke and I think that is what was giving fodder to my bad jokes.
But I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
So Neeyat was great. और मुझे पता है जब पहली बारी I did a call with Anu और उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि there's Vidya, there's Ram Kapoor, there's Neeraj Kabhi, there's Shahana, there's Shashank, there is Nikki, there's Danish and
Amrita Puri is there. Rahul Bose is there.
तो मेरे को ऐसे था कि ओके गुड. तो आई रिमेम्बर टेलिंग सुदीप, हम इसी वाले कमरे में अंदर बैठे थे, मैंने कहा दिस इज टू गुड अ कास्ट. मतलब व्हाई विल दे हैव एनीथिंग टू डू विद मी? आई एम सो न्यू इन दिस एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वे द स्टोरी इज, हर एक कैरेक्टर का अलग एक tangent है. हर एक कैरेक्टर अगर कहीं से मिसिंग है, so there's a reason why that character is not there, or if it's there, there's a reason the character is there. तो मैं कहीं like I don't know if I will be able to even be in the same room as these people. So मेरे लिए the win was that I got to be in a room with all of y'all in it, and working with you has always been a dream. I remember Shakuntala Devi के time पे I told you.
Yes, but how amazing that when I hadn't watched any of your acting stuff, right? I was amazed when I watched you on screen. You're so natural. How do you क्या है जो आप नहीं करती?
मुझे मैथ्स नहीं आता, मैं मैथ्स नहीं कर पाती.
हाँ, उसके लिए मैं हूँ ना शकुंतला देवी.
शकुंतला देवी. I remember the first day we were shooting Neeraj. I was going to say. First day we were shooting Neeyat. I went to meet Vidya in her van. क्योंकि बाकी सारे ना मेरे से 10-12 दिन पहले पहुंच गए थे. मेरा वीजा ही नहीं आ रहा था बड़े टाइम तक, तो मैं लेट पहुंची थी. एंड आई रिमेम्बर गोइंग टू मीट विद्या इन द वैन and someone opened the door and you were sitting right in front. I entered the van, I looked and I left. I said, she's not there. And then Aditi, I think Aditi is Vidya's manager, and she was like, Andheri bathi hai. I was like, kahan bathi hai? And then because you have the look,
bangs, yeah.
the bangs, and like kitni baar ye hota tha ki Vidya would walk right past us and we wouldn't know that it's you. The look is, I think, great.
And and I've got so many messages about the look, and even on, Insta, so many people have written to me saying, "Oh my God, we never imagined you with bangs." I hadn't imagined me with bangs.
You didn't have an awkward bang face.
No, I never had the guts to actually do it. So I was so glad I could do it in a film, and it was so much fun. It completely changed the look. But that's the amazing thing with Anu. She's just every character's, I think with every character, she manages to do something different, and everyone has a very distinct personality on screen also. And in a film like this, it adds so much,
fodder to it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. This is your second film with Anu. Shakuntala Devi was with Anu. Usme bhi aapka look bahut alag tha.
Yeah, but there I was playing Shakuntala Devi.
But still, like when I remember when I saw the trailer, and I think we spoke about it also when we spoke, and I was like, agar you would have walked by me, I wouldn't have recognized you. The same with Dirty Picture, where there were bits and pieces in the jaise wo jab purane wale dikhaye gaye the with the choti and the gajra, there were so many looks, and I feel like that is, and I'm not saying this because you're here, but we discussed this before also, and I feel like that is something that you have so easily managed. जैसे अगर आप कोई फिल्म देखते हो and you are in it, there is a certain sort of expectation that comes with it. कि okay, this is a Vidya Balan film. This is how it will be.
Thank you.
And that's a brand that you have managed, or a niche that you've managed to carve in a very busy business. जहाँ पे गिन भी नहीं सकते हैं जितनी फिल्में, series, stories इस वक्त बने जा रही हैं. You've been doing this for a long time. How do you carve a niche like that?
I don't know, honestly, the answer
Wasn't
to
it
that.
conscious?
No, not at all. But Prajakta, I'm very impatient. I'm very restless. I get bored very easily. I get bored with consuming content. Then with, as an actor, I get bored that much more easily. So a lot of times you get rehashes of the same thing, na? Because if something works, then invariably people come to you with the same genre or with the same type of character because it's just convenient. I get bored easily.
Monotony doesn't work.
Yeah, it just doesn't work for me, and therefore I think I'm constantly looking for new things to do. I think I've worked with people who also kind of nurtured that, trying to give me something new to do with every film, and worked on the look. You don't always get a chance to do something with the look, but I try and give it one distinct, physical attribute, characteristic, whether it's in the way she dresses or the way she walks or whatever it is, something different, just so that, because it's me playing all these different characters, no? Otherwise it can just look like it's Vidya playing everything. I think it's just that boredom that drives me to, so it's not been conscious at all. But I'm glad it's worked out the way it has.
Because it looks like it's कि बड़ा मतलब सोच के ये करा हुआ है.
बिल्कुल नहीं. But I go by instinct. अगर कुछ बहुत अच्छी भी script होगी, अगर मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगा ना, like it doesn't call out to me, if it doesn't call out to me, then I don't do it.
अभी आपने इतनी सारी फिल्में कर ली हैं, and I asked this, Kajol was here a week ago, and I remember asking her that, and I really want to know this from you as well. Do you think you have an insight now, or an idea कि will this work or will this not work? Does anyone ever?
Anyone does, yeah.
Right?
Because I've spoken to enough people, and I definitely don't know. And yet you do. You know what I mean? There's a voice, it's a conflicting voice, because sometimes when it's not going the way you want it to, even during the process of filmmaking, or once you've seen the finished film, you sometimes delude yourself, because you have to live with that. For example, you have to step out and promote a film, and so it's tough. And yet sometimes, even when it's not all coming together the way you had imagined, you feel there's some magic. It's the magic, it has that something. But I don't know. No one knows, What did Kajol say?
She said कि पता चल जाता है. In the sense कि, like, I think very similar to what you're saying, कि if the magic is not there, you can always tell when you're filming.
Yeah.
आपके सारे फिल्मों में से, was there a film that midway you either felt like this is it, or like felt like this is tricky, I don't know about this anymore?
I've never felt 100% sure, but I've enjoyed the process on most films, but particularly on Kahani, on Tumhari Sulu, on Ishqiya. These were films that were, where I was just, I don't know how to describe it.
Like
I
it's a
remember
trance.
every single day of shoot on these projects. So it's not fun for the sake of fun, right? It's not like we are sitting and chatting, but there
Process
was
of
something about the process that was magical. And on those films, I was really hoping that the films do well. I had a sense, but like I said, I don't take it for even that sense for granted. I was really hoping they do well, and they did. But there have been films, which I won't name, where you felt ki yaar. I'll tell you about this one instance where I was not sure of what was happening on set on one particular film.
While you were shooting it.
While I was shooting it, and it was a shock for me because this wasn't early years of my career. This was pretty much after.
later.
And yet I was literally like grappling, to get a sense of what is happening, because the director and my processes were very different, not very communicative director. So कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि किस तरफ जा रहे हैं. But when you watch the film, you can't tell. So this is a trust game.
So there is no rhyme or rhythm.
No, nothing whatsoever. I really have come to believe that.
So it's just the magic then.
It's just the magic.
Just the magic. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good
And
point.
when a film, you can also tell when the energy is low around a film. Yeah.
Banate waqt.
That somehow you can tell.
You can tell. Now, another thing about you, Vidya, that I've always admired is, again, pata nahi ki ye conscious tha or it just happened. Right from your first role, and please correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I am approaching it from a fan's perspective. जैसे कोई भी अगर नई heroine आ रही है, especially at the time that you did, everyone will want this. Again, I could be wrong, but most of them will want this, I have to look hot and I have to look glamorous and I have to look like one song happens and the poster happens and everybody's like, oh my God, she is, oh wow, who's this bomb? Contrastingly, you went for a very, you were gorgeous in Parinita.
Thank you.
But I remember when I saw the posters or when I saw you on screen, I was just like, and I was watching it with my parents, and both Mama and Mama was like, who is this woman? She is beautiful. And it was so different from the regular hot, the regular attractive, the regular bomb. I mean, you look bomb as but that was a very different, it's very different from Dirty Picture.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
No, I completely know what you mean, but it wasn't a choice, Prajakta. Honestly, I'd been through a very tough phase down south where I did my first Malayalam film, it got shelved midway. I did another Malayalam film, got shelved midway, got therefore replaced in a whole lot of South films, right?
Achha.
Then got thrown out of a Tamil film after a week of shooting for it. So I was labeled Jinx. At that time, I met Pradeep Sarkar, and then, for Euphoria's Aana Tu Meri Gali, and he said, I'll make a film with you. And then, so therefore, I was just glad that someone thought that I was worthy of being in a film. Someone was really backing me. Vinod Chopra was, hell-bent on testing me repeatedly, and understandably so, because he was investing so much money. I was on one. The film is called Parinita. But I just, so I would have, the sum and substance of it is that I would have done whatever role was offered to me, right? But I think Dada and I were a perfect match for his debut and my debut. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
Because that was his first feature film also.
Yeah.
So he was making Parinita, and it probably needed someone like me. It was a matter of timing. I've not been able to figure this out.
Yeah.
But it's also probably who I am as a person, because eventually that's
a trajectory
because
that kind of.
Not just that I've never seen myself as glamorous, but also I've never identified as glamorous.
Or you've never identified to what everybody identifies
as glamorous. But also, I did not like the association of glamour lacking substance. Now things are changing. You can have a glamorous person who's also doing very substantial roles or making sense. Or 18 years ago, that wasn't the case, right? So I was like, but I want to do, maybe I had that desire. My first film eventually was a Bengali film called Bhalo Theko before I did Parinita.
Oh.
So I think it's who you are gets reflected.
Yeah.
And then in my subsequent choices, of course, I tried to be glamorous, so-called glamorous for a bit in between, but that failed miserably because there was nothing for me to bite into.
Yeah. आपकी शुरुआत इतनी अलग हुई and जैसे आपने कहा कि there were a couple of hits and misses here and there with whatever लेकिन eventually I've always felt like if there was one person who didn't really care much about the rat race was you. I've always felt that because I've seen your films and I've seen कि आप अपने pace पे काम कर रहे हो, आप अपनी stories जिनमें आप believe करते हो, आप अलग-अलग directors के साथ काम कर रहे हो. It's been so parallel to how a stereotypical graph would be expected of from a lead Bollywood A-lister, you know what I mean? Was it again, same question, was it a conscious decision? Was that peace you made with yourself कि मैंने ये नहीं भागना है, मैंने नहीं दौड़ना है इसमें, I want to do things my own way? Or again, did you just pick up on it as you went about?
I just realized I'm not a rat.
Not a rat.
नहीं, पर I think मैं बहुत ढीठ हूँ. तो of course शुरुआती दौर में मैंने बहुत ये कोशिश की कि उस तरह की भी फिल्में करूं जो सब कहते हैं सेफ बेट्स हैं, द सो कॉल्ड कमर्शियल फिल्म्स, पर उसमें मेरा काम मतलब मुझे खुद अच्छा नहीं लगा. मुझे लगा कि मैं क्या कर रही हूँ. हालांकि उसमें भी बहुत हुनर है कि आप 4 गाने 4 सीन कर रहे हो, पर वो कन्विक्शन के साथ करना बहुत बड़ी बात होती है. आई मिस दैट कम्प्लीटली early on. I just thought that, if you have to do 4 songs and 4 scenes, then it really you can sleepwalk through it, and that backfired very badly. So in some of the films that did well, I got criticized a lot. But more importantly, I think I was just early on because I started late, Prajakta. I became a heroine at 26. Parinita released when I was 26. So I think बहुत समझबूझ थी मुझ में already. So I just realized कि अच्छा, I'm not after the initial few years of trying to fit in. I realized this is not my scene. I'd rather do what my heart is in. And I hope that it works than do things that I'm not even interested in, and it will surely not work then. At least it won't work for me because that's what these films have proved. There's this lovely line when I was doing this film Eklavya, I had learnt it, which is dharmaha matibhyaha udgritaha, which is आपका धर्म वही है जो आपको सही लगे. So it's very subjective. So I do what I feel is right. You do what you feel is right. You do you. So I think it's as simple as that. I don't know. I've never been. I think I was brought up in an environment where there was no comparison with anyone else. We're 2 sisters, and my parents, I have to say, never compared us with any of our friends and said, "Dekho wo kya kar rahe hain."
Compared to each other?
No, never. I think we were dealt with very differently also. Like my parents knew that I was very earnest, always very conscientious, so they never put any pressure on me, whereas they had to run behind my sister. And touch wood, both of us have still done well, in our own ways. Good. So I think that's what's important.
So I think a lot of how life post 26 turned out had to do with how it was before that.
Oh, most definitely.
A huge chunk of that.
I think for all of us, Prajakta, don't you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
It's that level of मुझे कभी लगा ही नहीं कि अच्छा I have to be better than her, him, her. It didn't matter.
कई सारे viewers से मैं मिलती हूँ who want to be influencers, who want to be actors. Also, I happen to meet a lot of younger actors that I get to have conversations with, work with. One of the things जो मुझे ऐसा लगा is a common thread and kind of keeps popping up every now and then, which kind of cemented a belief that I thought was baseless before, is the insecurity that comes with being a performer. आप जो बोल रहे हो, so you're saying that your confidence या आपका overall भरोसा अपने art पे या अपने decisions पे stems from the lack of insecurity, stems from securities.
Yeah.
How do you think a newer actor, अगर आज को कोई स्टार्ट कर रहा है कि पहली फिल्म साइन करी है या आज को कोई भी नई चीज, if it's a performer, any kind of artist, how do you think can one work on being more secure?
Just by realizing that there's only one Prajakta Kohli, that there is, मैं कुछ भी कर लूं, I cannot be you. I have to be me. That's the only way it'll work.
Also, I've always said this, it gets so exhausting when you have a mask on as a performer, because आप इतने लोगों से मिलते हो, एक ही conversation इतनी बारी होती है कि if you have a mask on, it's just exhausting and it's lonely.
No, and you'll never be another person, na, Prajakta?
Yeah.
You can spend a lifetime trying to be someone else. It's exhausting, it's draining, it's
not fun.
It's not fun at all. And you'll never achieve your goal because there is that other person. Whereas if you're authentic, there is only one of you.
Yeah.
So no one is going to be able to take your place.
Yeah.
There is,
So there's no
I think
competition.
that really is key to realize that there is no one else like you.
Yeah.
So you can be, when they say, na, you can be the best and worst version of yourself. You choose what you want to be. I think that's so true.
Yeah.
You know, and there is really, I think that's the root of insecurity.
Yeah.
Comparison. You know, अच्छा उसके उनके तो इतने followers हैं, उनकी film को तो इस तरह की opening मिली. I'm not saying I'm not human and I don't go through
Yeah.
that, you know, but I think
That doesn't drive you.
yeah, that doesn't drive me. There are times when you feel, you know, that, oh, maybe I deserve more. You know,
Yeah.
like but I tell myself, what deserve more? Who, you know, what is a measure that you're
Yeah.
using?
Yeah.
You know, and then I calm down. I talk myself through it, but I also, I don't deny myself anything that I'm going through. There are times when I feel jealous, I feel insecure, I feel lesser than, and there are times when I feel great, I feel
Better
over the
than.
world. And I let that be, you know, just live with it.
That's great. It's that simple also.
Yeah, and you fake it till you make
make
it.
it.
Yeah, you
True.
just tell yourself that, yeah, you know, I am the best, blah 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 blah. More than anything else, not best. Best is also, there's a comparison in the best, right? You just say, I am enough, I'm good enough, and
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to being an artist, मैं सिर्फ actor नहीं बोल रही, फिर director कह लो, writer कह लो, director बोल दिया मैंने, और क्या होता है, painter कह लो, अलग artist जो भी है. And again, this is a very personal opinion of mine, which could be unpopular, where I understand the passion of it, where I'm like, great, passion is good, but if you want to, इससे अगर रोटी कमानी है, you have to balance it with the business side of things. How do you do that?
Oh, I definitely think, I keep telling people that if you don't look at cinema as a business, you know, then you should be making home videos. Just sit at home, make your videos, watch it yourself.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves that, you know, I'm not catering to
An audience,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. But I think what's important is that you do, again, what you are convinced about. You tell
Passionate
the
about.
stories you want to tell, and you tell it with complete conviction. That's it.
Yeah.
And I feel that when you do it with conviction, then it will, you know, it will connect with someone or the other.
Yeah.
But when you're unsure, people pick up on it. Audiences are,
Very smart.
yeah, it's an energy after all.
Ah.
But there is no other
Way to go about it
Yeah.
sustainably.
Because you really can't judge what people are going to like, what people are not going to like. But having said that, if, you know, you can always tell, for example, even when you're watching a film, you can tell when someone is being indulgent, when a director is being indulgent, when an actor is being indulged, you know, when the cinematographer is just wanting to show you a beautiful frame.
You can tell when it's a collab.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly, because it is a collaborative effort, right, film? When it all comes together, when it's about the storytelling, it will work.
Yeah.
But I think most importantly, it is about, and that's what I think will make films relatable, films connect to a larger audience. It's stories, right?
Yeah.
Connect to a larger audience.
And I think a great time for content in India right now is now.
Yeah.
Kyuki there's an audience for everything.
Yeah, exactly. And it's about self-expression, right?
Yeah.
You can, but I'm saying at the same time, it is a business. You
It is a
you
business.
can't forget that.
Yeah. जैसे कई बार ये ना ये मेरी बातें होती है with a lot of people they're like कि मैं अभी 12th में हूँ but I'm going to quit it क्योंकि मुझे YouTuber बनना है और YouTube के लिए तो कोई नहीं मांगता सर्टिफिकेट की चाहिए कि ना I'm like पर तुमको कॉलेज में जो एक्सपीरियंसेस आएंगे उसको यूज करोगे ना लिखने के लिए जिन लोगों से तुम मिलोगे because I remember the first time I went on stage for theatre was when I was in college. If I had skipped that whole thing, none of this would have gone through.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to like one of the Phoebe Waller-Bridge had said this कि मतलब it's great कि तुम्हें passionate writer बनना है और तुम्हारे मन से निकलना चाहिए but अगर तुम discipline नहीं लाते you don't treat it like a business you don't put those timelines on yourself you're never going to get through.
Exactly. Discipline, yeah. Another
Discipline.
Such an important thing. And I think the other thing that you said, one was discipline. I lost track of what I was saying. I was thinking of something very.
कि whatever if you're passionate उसको मतलब it's not going
No,
to
no,
go through.
and it's about living life.
Yeah.
Right? You need to live life. So, which is why it's not just for the degree.
Yeah.
You go to college to have those experiences,
It's
to
a
know
rite
how
of
to work with.
passage.
Know how to work with people. When I wanted to become an actor. I was doing Hum Panch when I was in the first year of college at Xavier's, and I was appearing on the blacklist repeatedly. So my parents told me nothing doing. Yeah, they said you have to quit the show. And I was heartbroken. I said, I'll do through correspondence. I'm getting work. Why should? And my mom said, this time will never come back.
Yeah.
You can go to college at any age, but you'll never. It's about being in college with people
and living that life.
Yeah,
in that age.
At that age, it is like you said, a rite of passage. And today I'm so glad I did that. It's because it makes so much of a difference.
Yeah.
And there is discipline, there is some amount of craft, there is living life, there is passion, there is all those things. But finally, I think it's
the
just
magic.
Yeah, the magic and being authentic.
Yeah,
no,
that's true.
Do you agree?
100%. मैं तो and I'm so glad that you put it the way that you put it कि जिस minute आप individuality ले जाते हो किसी भी अपने craft या art को, I feel like the competition just diminishes because like how two people who are not similar, not working towards the same goal cannot compete.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm very new to this. I've started acting in like 4 years ago now. But whatever time I did spend as a content creator, मुझे realize हुआ कि कितना भी widespread umbrella ये सोच लो कि इसके numbers इतने आए या इसके box office collections उतने आए, at the end of the day it really just comes down to one artist.
Yeah.
And you can't even, and I feel so happy कि I get to be an actor and we get to do something like this at a time where 13 लोग एक screen में हैं but not one person is like
the other.
I think it's a great time to be an actor and I'm so glad that I could do this with you. I remember first time same frame में मैं और विद्या मेरे हाथ इतने थर कांप रहे.
कितनी झूठी है. जितना confidence मैंने प्राजक्ता में देखा है मैंने किसी में देखा नहीं है.
ये faking it till I make it.
ये acting बहुत अच्छी कर लेती है. अभी भी आपके सामने act कर रही है.
But that's true. Ask Mao. Mao was with me. और मैं जैसे मैं लेट आई थी 10 दिन और पहला ही मेरा
but that तुम्हारी गलती थोड़ी ना थी.
but मैं इसीलिए मैं और नर्वस थी कि इनकी सारी सबकी तो दोस्ती हो गई होगी एक दूसरे से, and I didn't know anybody.
And it's so amazing, right? I look at her and I think, oh, she's an influencer. She's got such a wide reach, crazy number of followers. I would have never imagined her feeling jittery.
Oh,
but actually it's so wonderful to know that, right?
I was so jittery. चलो एक मैं बताती हूँ, देख लेंगे. We'll see if maybe we'll put this clip later. One of the things that I learned from you that I'll always be very grateful for was patience, because I remember हमारा एक डाइनिंग टेबल पे सीन चल रहा था and सब सारे बैठे हैं और वो सीन 2-3 दिन तक चला. Okay.
Luckily we weren't eating anything.
We couldn't. But हम सारे टेबल पे बैठे थे and my seat was here and Vidya's was exactly where she is right now, सामने से. And multiple cameras are shooting, सबके अलग अलग lines है, सबके close-ups, mids लग रहे हैं, two shot कहते हैं उसको, 2 shot भी लग रहे हैं, फिर अलग अलग magnifications में सब कुछ shoot हो रहा है. I remember for one whole day, not once. And that whole scene, Vidya has a line in the end.
Yeah.
You don't have a line throughout that whole scene. And I remember one full day, Vidya had no lines. We were done with her close-up on the first day. I think on the second day, Vidya की एक भी line नहीं थी. So Vidya's not giving cues to anyone. कोई eye contact Vidya के साथ किसी का नहीं होता. Vidya किसी को नहीं देख रही, कोई Vidya को नहीं देगा. But she has reached set, she's gone to hair and makeup, and she has sat there for 12 hours in her seat with the only thing she said is like mic की जरूरत नहीं है. And I remember कि मेरा तो कुछ and patiently she was happy and she was chirpy and she had full energy and she made sure that the whole scene, like she was joking also about, and जितना थोड़ा मैंने देखा है कि अच्छा मेरा नहीं है ना इसमें शोल्डर वोल्डर नहीं आ रहा है तो मैं जा रही हूँ या मैं जा रहा हूँ. But I learned that from you. And that'll always stay with me.
Sweet.
That
Thank
she
you.
stayed on a whole day of shoot when she could have just come in her pajamas and sat at the chair like this throughout just to be there, or not been there at all. But you turned up and you got into hair and makeup and you sat there for 12 hours without saying anything. And I thought that was very patient.
Thank you. But I love what I do, Prajakta.
I know, and we can tell
So
that.
And to be on set is like a blessing. Every time I'm on set, I feel like this is the only dream I've had in life, right? So when I'm getting the opportunity, I don't want to squander it away. But importantly also, I feel that just presence can make a difference to a scene. Like if any of you also got up and left and said, you know, during my close-up, because you all weren't seen, and someone else was at the corner of the table, got up and left, it would impact my performance. I believe that because it's about energy finally. So I would never do that to another actor. I remember during Pa, Mr. Bachchan told me this. You know, there was a scene, it was my close-up and we were shooting late. And when we finished the scene, he told me, it was his close-up and I was standing there, we were shooting late. And he said, thank you so much. I said, for what? He said, for standing and giving me cues. I said, obviously I would. So he said, no, because you know, even in an auditorium full of people, even if I'm facing the front and there's someone on the 5th row that's giving a reaction, it will impact me. It will impact my performance in some way. It's because it's energy. It's about what the energy.
If you are in an auditorium.
So if you're shooting in an auditorium and he meant that if he was on the 1st row looking ahead and there was someone on the 5th row who he can't even see, you know, and if that person was yawning or not like interested
that
or
would
was,
impact.
just mumbling away or something, that would impact his performance. So he said, so it's so, because acting is about reaction, it's so crucial that I got these cues from you. And that's, I think I also started as an AD with Pradeep Sarkar with Dada. Very short period, but so I know.
What film were you an AD on?
Not filmsy, ad films.
Ad films. Oh, because the Parinita was the first one. Sorry, my bad.
So I think I've been trained. You know, I'm also one of those who, मुझे लगता है कि जिस दिन मैं कहूँ कि नहीं मैं ऐसे पजामे में बैठ जाती हूँ, the director will look at me and say, no, but we want to do one shot and oh God, you're not ready. So we're losing. I'm one of those who gets nervous about these things.
Yeah, no, but we are very happy. I mean, I'm going to take this very selfishly. I am very happy that I got to finally be in a project with you.
Oh,
and I got
sweet,
to
thank
work
you.
with you. And I've learned so much with it. This is one of the things. I mean, just watching you. Filme to theek hai, but मैं बता रही हूँ, when you're sitting across the table and you're watching Vidya Balan perform, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different experience. And I'm not saying this just so because I want. I'm saying this because I want to, and I want you to know that you've impacted me as a performer a lot more than you realize.
Thank you. And may I say, it's not a mutual admiration society or anything, but when you watch the film, you will see she's such a lovely actor, because I also watched her in Jug Jug Jio. And I've not watched your show yet, but she's such a fluid actor, you know, and for someone who's new to this, like you said, I think it's just seemed like it's second nature to you, which is why I keep asking you, what is it that you can't do? And what I love about Prajakta is her authenticity.
Thank you.
I'm saying it to you all, but I'm looking at her. Sorry, it's just a bit odd.
Thank you.
It is amazing, just being herself at all times. And I have to tell you that thanks to Prajakta Kohli, I've started reading again after almost a decade. She gifted
on one flight, I have influenced you.
Because you're an influencer.
But yeah, she read Norwegian Wood by Murakami. There's hardly anyone.
No, but you know, I didn't feel like reading, but she spoke about reading so passionately that day. And she said, okay, if you're not reading, I'll send you a book. I said, okay, send me a book. I thought, okay, because I haven't picked up a book in 10 years. And then suddenly when she sent it, I couldn't put it down. Thank you.
I'm so glad. So, I'm someone, when I'm performing, if the director says, na, good Pratik, I'll be like, good bola. Very nice. So, same scene only, when we were shooting that whole dining table scene, Anu was not in the room because it was one room which had multiple cameras. Anu was in the monitor room, which was dur. And she was saying, okay, good, Prajakta gone. But I remember there was this one shot where I performed, and the minute cut happened, Vidya said, and I cannot tell you how and I remember calling Suds after that. I went to Mao and I told her, I said, did you see what Vidya said to when Anu said cut? So I'm just saying that was coming from you means a lot to me. You have no clue. Okay, now I'm going to stop talking. Neeyat comes out in theatres on the 7th of July. Please jaake dekhein. It's a murder mystery. It has Vidya Balan, it has Ram Kapoor, Neeraj Kabi, Shahana Goswami, Rahul Bose, Nikki Walia, there's Danish Razvi, there's Shashank Arora, there is Amrita Puri and me. It's a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a classic whodunit murder mystery. तो please जाके देखे. हमें बनाते वक्त बड़े मजे आए.
बहुत मजा आया.
I'm really hoping कि आपको देखने में भी बहुत
And
मजा
we
आए.
have to tell people about the castle, right, where we shot. What a stunning
Both the castles.
Both the castles.
तो इंटीरियर कहीं और शूट हुआ है, एक्सटीरियर कहीं और शूट हुआ है, पर वो दोनों जगहें वो मैड.
It was like heaven on earth.
It was until you started singing Ami Che Tomar in the hallways. It was not heaven on earth after that.
And using my bangs to cover my eyes and
Actually
scare
standing
people.
in corners somewhere singing Ami Che Tomar. I said, of all the people, you shouldn't be singing this song ever to anyone in dark alleys. Okay, we're going to go now. People are going to start yelling. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do that. I'm going to say it again. Please watch Neeyat on the 7th of July. If you haven't seen the trailer, I'm going to put it in the description. Please check it out. I will see you soon. Until we meet, love, love.
Thank you and
Thank
thank you. That was fun.
It was fun, right?